Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us at Soul Alchemy Potions. And if you're watching this over on my other YouTube channel, Solreta Antaria, thank you. I have my gorgeous friend, Emyrald Sinclaire. And I think last time we did a chat like this was maybe a year ago. So I'm just so excited because I know you're so similar to me. You're always like updating, expanding your awareness and your knowledge and, adding more value into the work that you do. So I can't wait to see what's new and to talk about this topic on attracting love. So let me pop up our little poster. So
Oh,
this
look
is
how beautiful we are.
I just thought, let's just dance in water, program this into water.
Yes.
So before we get into your bio and things, I've just got a couple of things to share. And thank you for those who have just come from the Abundance show that we just did as well. So we have my potions, Soul Alchemy Potions. And with this, you guys can now order the tea. The website is live. So if you haven't already, make sure to get your love potion or heal a broken heart if love is the topic that you're really interested in. And Emerald and I were just chatting about backstage to do with how it does take time to upgrade new patterns or to really hyper focus on things. So you can see here with the love potion, and there's an abundance. I am magnetic. My heart is open to receiving love. So with this, you focus your intention. This is my love potion in my little potion bottle, but oh, good, you've got your potion.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, you can see there's rose and cardamom and cinnamon and lavender, things that are really warming and attractive on an alchemical level. So just want to show you guys that. There is specials on bundles or getting more than, 4 or more as well. And this is my new channel, Soul Alchemy Potion. So some of you might be watching it here. And I also wanted to share Emerald's website. So the gorgeous Emyrald Sinclaire, I'm going to read your bio in a minute and we'll come back to your website, but people can reach you at emeraldsinclaire.com. And I'm just going to bring this down. Okay, so I'll just read your bio and then we can get into it. So you're an author, a speaker, a spiritual intuitive, a guide, and a master at teaching manifestation on a mission to awaken women to their full potential so that they can manifest the love of their lives and the life of their dreams. So you're trained in NLP, which I love, neuro-linguistic programming, EFT, the emotional freedom tapping that we just did on the Abundance show, if you guys caught that, hypnotherapy, meditation, yoga, and a variety of subconscious programs, tools to help women move beyond old stories and instead rise to fullest potential. So you're passionate about helping driven women to listen to their hearts, go after what they want, and feel amazing in their bodies and become empowered to receive everything that you desire. So you've done also 20 years of self-study, in addition to also becoming certified in a variety of healing modalities. So you're proud to offer your clients unique combination of a no BS side to coaching, loving heart-centered intuitive guidance, and practical subconscious reprogramming tools in order to give them the best results that they desire in the shortest amount of time. And I'm just remembering back to what it was that where I originally came across your work, and it would have been through your podcast. So please go check out your podcast. And I remember getting your book around love, and it was also finding you on Insight Timer. And I remember going through love things and shifting and working with it's now Heal a Broken Heart tea, which is really, really good for, if you're going through a bit of heartbreak and you want to bring your energy back and nurture and nourish. But I remember doing my tea, my potion, listening to your beautiful meditation on Insight Timer. And I'm trying to think back to which one. I think it was around creating a new reality or something.
Manifesting your dream life. That one is so well listened to.
Oh my God. Probably from me. Just
you have it on repeat every day.
Yeah. Oh, and I just want to say thank you for people joining us. So we look like sisters.
We are sisters.
Different mister.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so hopefully that covered most things, reading your bio. But I mean, apart from that, you're just such a gorgeous soul and a gorgeous
Mm.
person, and your heart is in the right place. And that's why I'm like, okay, I want to talk to someone who not only is an expert, but like their heart's in the right place. Because with Soul Alchemy Potions, what I'm really doing is about bringing heart-centered people together that are wanting to make a difference in the wider community and to really help people reach that that spot that they're wanting to hit. Can you maybe give yourself like a bit of a rundown what you've been up to lately?
Whew, what have I been up to lately? Well, I just finished about 4 years traveling the world after a breakup, which was 4 years ago. And I just followed my heart, and my heart said to travel and started traveling the US. Then I went to Mexico. Then I went to Italy. Then I went to Tbilisi, Georgia. And then I came back to the States to clean out my storage unit. And a series of events happened that plopped me down here. So I was not intending to stay. I was not intending to move back to the United States of America. And yet, my prayer, my intention to the universe was that I was ready to settle down again. I was ready to meet my person. And I can tell you, everything is falling into place so beautifully since being back in Colorado that I guess my updates are just life's the best it's ever been. Very happy.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And, happy to hear you're back near family as well, because I'm sure they would have missed you on all those adventures.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah. So I've got a couple of little questions just to start us off. So what would be like a great tool or tip for helping us to really tap into the spiritual essence of how we could attract like more fulfilling love and relationships? Where would be sort of the starting point to really be bringing that in for us?
Yeah. Okay. So two things just came through, and they're two sides of the same coin. One is forgiveness, and one is gratitude. Forgiveness helps to clear the past, and gratitude acts as a magnet for more. And so, a lot of men and women, especially women, because that's primarily who I work with, they hold a shield around their heart. They've been hurt in the past and they don't want to get hurt again. And so, they decide, well, I'll just cut myself off from love and then I won't get hurt. But the truth is, then you also block yourself from receiving love into your life. And so, whatever level you have not forgiven is the level, your max, your ceiling that you're actually able to love. And so the more that you're able to forgive and to release the past, and that does not mean that, oh, I want this to happen. It does not mean that you agree with what happened, but what it means is that you're willing to release it from your energy field. What it means is that you're willing to see things, let's say, more from a higher self perspective instead of the human, the ego, the victim perspective. And so what was my role in this? How did this actually serve me? How did this catapult my growth? What lessons did I learn? How can I be more discerning in the future? What type of upbringing did this person have to have in order for them to treat me this way? And then furthermore, I said yes to this experience. I said yes to this relationship. And so when you dig into forgiveness, it energetically helps you to clear the slate, to raise your vibration, and then you add in the practice of gratitude and appreciation for everything in your life that is going well. And you just continue, continue, continue to rise your vibration and up level. And you make yourself available to attract in at a different level. And so I know you know this, and I'm sure everybody watching knows this,
I
but
love the reminders
okay,
and,
okay,
and so keep going.
okay,
It's
okay, good.
amazing.
And so we are energetic beings first. We're vibrational beings first. And so your energy, your emotion, your thoughts, your belief systems, all of that is like a receiver. You're sending it out into the world and you're getting it mirrored back to you. And so that's why I don't view any relationship or dating experience as bad or wrong. It's what is this showing me about myself? Either A, my belief systems around love, or B, the unhealed parts of me that are not in alignment with unconditional love. And if I can view every situation through that lens, then I continue to shed, I continue to heal, I continue to up level, and then I continue to attract in amazing men or amazing women as girlfriends, amazing clients, whatever it is, because they're just mirroring back to me what I believe to be true. They're mirroring back to me all of the work that I have done to connect more deeply into my heart to move beyond the human, the ego, the drama, the fear, the bullshit, and realize like I can choose that reality, or I can choose a completely different reality. And so, case in point, I'm here in Denver, Colorado. There's 4 million people. The joke is that it's called Menver because there's so many men here. Yeah, Menver. And I've had clients that moved to Denver because of the ratio of men to women, thinking that's how they'd find their person. And yet they're experiencing the same dating reality that they experience in a different town. And let's just say lackluster. And yet I moved to Denver and I date for the fun of it. And it's kind of an experiment. And all I'm having are amazing dates, amazing experiences, meeting amazing men. They're super high caliber. And I define high caliber as someone who's done their work, who's emotionally intelligent and aware and communicative in their heart, blah, 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 right? Two women in the same town experiencing completely different dating realities because these two women are different at their core. And so that's why these two tools, don't underestimate the power of forgiveness and gratitude, because forgiveness clears the past and gratitude calls in more.
That's so well. It's so good the way that you package that all together, because it really does make a difference. And it's funny, I've even seen this with one of my gorgeous girls in, going out to a different place. And I've talked about this in other shows where, what you hold kind of within, or if you hold this light within and you're more kind of open, you don't have the walls up, you tend to attract or gravitate people towards you. And it's interesting because she's had other examples of, being with people and they have the exact opposite effect, or they come up against speed bump after speed bump after speed bump. So it so comes from within. And I love that that's what you do with your clients, that you're addressing those core issues. The other sorts of clients too that we see sometimes to do with manifesting love, they might have, the finance sector, the career sector sorted. Health is done, like everything's kind of like on point where they want it. But sometimes when they're shifting or trying to apply, manifestation to love, or really like calling in a partner, they might be used to kind of having that control over things and more in their masculine. Can you maybe talk a bit for some clients that might be more kind of like type A or manifestation, and what it is that they might be perhaps admitting or putting out there as a wave or into the quantum that they could shift?
Yes, absolutely. And so, what I have seen and experienced, especially in the US, Canada, Europe, and Australia, is that a lot of women, because of culture, because of the feminist movement, because of what we've been, let's say, told over the last 40 or 50 years, a lot of women have shifted into their masculine energy, which we can call the independent energy, the passionate, the driven, the get shit done energy. However, they're acting from a place of wounding. And what I mean by that, I don't trust a man to take care of me. I don't trust the universe to take care of me. I have to do it. So it's this hyper independence. And then they wonder why they have so many problems in love, because they don't actually trust a man. And so the shift into the feminine energy, which has to do much more with receiving, is a woman really learning how to trust herself. It's a woman really connecting in with her body, with her heart, with her emotions, with a woman realizing that I don't need to do something to prove my worth. I don't need to try to impress the man with my accolades or my business successes. Recognizing that I am worthy just because I am. And this is for men and women. Recognizing that you're worthy just because you are. Now, all of that being said, though, when it comes to partnership, it's the complements, right? It's one Fred and one Ginger. And so having that contrast between masculine and feminine energy, if that's who you are at your core. And so that is one thing I need to say, is that this isn't that a woman needs to be feminine and a man needs to be masculine. But over the last 7 years, the hundreds of women that I've worked with personally in my group coaching or private coaching, no matter how successful they are, no matter what country they come from, when we unravel it down to the core, who she is in her center in a relationship is feminine. And what that means is that she deeply, deeply desires to feel safe and loved and supported and taken care of. And she is a badass in her career all day. She might be a single mom taking care of her kids all day. But at her core, when we really unravel some of the mental societal constructs of like men and women are equal. Yeah, of course we're equal. Like we're all equal, but we're different in energy and biology and hormones. And so when we unravel all of that, every single woman that I have worked with over the last 7 years, feminine. She deeply desires to not do it all and, in fact, trust her partner to take the lead. Now, there's work that needs to be done for a woman to heal her wounds and actually trust a man, or trust herself to trust a man, right? And so there's all of these different layers that are going on underneath the surface. But ultimately, what it comes down to is you really getting clear on who it is that you are, the authenticity of who you are, not the societal, not the programming, and then be in partnership from that level. And so for me, I used to very much be a masculine woman, 100%. Didn't trust men, didn't trust the universe. I thought it was bad to cry. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I didn't know how to express my emotions. And the more I've done this work and really softened and trusted and allowed myself to receive and let go and ultimately become a lot more feminine in partnerships and also in life, the better life has gotten. Like I love a man stepping up and taking care of me in every sense. Can I take care of myself? Do I do it every single day? 100%. But do I want to? No, I have nothing to prove. My ego has been tamed over the years. Yes, I still have it. But at the end of the day, oh my goodness, I want to sit back, put my feet up, be in my feminine energy and allow that light. Ooh, let that be given to the man. And a true masculine man, that's what he wants. He doesn't want to know how much money I make. He doesn't want to know if I can split the bill. What he wants is to be connected to my feminine energy, my heart, my essence. And that actually helps him do and feel better as a man.
Oh, I love that. And it's interesting just talking about that masculine, feminine energy. I know in partnerships, I've always been told that there's like a calming presence, or I feel sometimes when you're in your feminine, it definitely calms the nervous system of the masculine too.
Oh,
Can you maybe talk a little bit about the importance of like regulating your nervous system in regards to attracting love? Because if we're not regulated, we're going to maybe attract a little bit of chaos.
yeah, I would agree with that. So again, if we go back to law of attraction, you attract what it is that you're putting out. And so if you don't know how to regulate your own nervous system, then yeah, you're going to be with someone else who doesn't know how to regulate their nervous system. If you're operating from a place of, I don't trust my partner, most likely you're with someone who also doesn't trust you, right? So our world is just a mirror. Everything is a reflection. And I love using this example. If I wanted to change my lipstick color, I wouldn't try to do it on my camera, right? Like I wouldn't try to do it in the mirror. I would
Yeah.
change my lipstick color on my person and then the reflection would change. And so it's the same thing with relationships. Who it is that you're being will be reflected back to you. And that's why relationships are always the opportunity for growth, for learning, for reflection. What is this showing me about me? What do I actually believe to be true about dating or love for this to show up in my life?
I love that. And I can feel tapping into the energy because you and I are both empaths as well. Just feeling into the energy for some of the audience or perhaps someone watching after. What would be a really great example? And by the way, I love the lipstick analogy.
Yeah.
So what would be something in like a love level, say as a program that someone has that they're trying to change from the outside? So say maybe it's the way they're being treated or the way that they're being seen by a man, for example. What is it that they can change sort of like within that would be the analogy of the lipstick color?
Great question. So let's say that you get in a fight with your partner and your knee-jerk reaction would be to tell him, you can't say that to me. You can't treat me that way, right? Like to try to change how your partner is acting. Whereas instead, why am I attracting in this type of partner? Why is this behavior happening to me? And so it's going to go deeper than the scope of our conversation right now. However, let's say as a child, that's how your dad talked to your mom. And so there's a program going on underneath the surface of this is how a man treats a woman in a relationship. And unless you go in and work on the program, you could leave that partner and still attract in the same essence, the same feeling, but just a different name, a different face. And so one of the exercises that I really like, and there's so many exercises I like, but one of the ones I really like is connecting into your inner child on a daily basis. So close your eyes, see the little 5-year-old you, the little 7-year-old you, and just talk to them. What do you need? How are you doing? Because so many of us did not get the love that we needed or wanted. And so we can't change that, but we can change the story. We can reparent ourselves as adults. Everything in the universe wants love and acceptance. And so rather than let me try to change my partner, let me go in and reparent my inner child. Let me talk to him or her every single day. Let me give them attention, which is love. Let me see what they need. And then how can I meet that need within myself? Whether it's an imaginary, let me close my eyes and hug my inner child, or an actual, my inner child told me they wanted to play. So I'm going to go play today. Right. And then, of course, we have plenty of other tools like hypnotherapy or EMDR, EFT, NLP, all of that stuff. But that would be an example of like, rather than pointing the finger, you need to change so that I can feel better. What is it within me that's attracting in this kind of behavior?
Yeah. And then you'll start to shift your reality from within, and you'll shift what you're attracting in. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting when you start to, really tap into this work. You will have extra people sometimes come in, or if you're working with healing, being seen, or working with, I'm deeply worthy of receiving love, or abundance, or whatever it is that you're working with, you'll start to get examples. And I remember sharing with you in, I think it was one of our other shows, maybe one or two back, where I was telling you I wrote down my soulmate list. And it was funny because I had 7 marriage proposals within the week, and 3 of them saying exactly the same thing. And I was single at the time. And
Mhm.
this was coming from different people, different countries, some here local. And I'm like, okay, this is the universe reflecting to me exactly like what I'm putting out. And it was so interesting to see that come about. One of my best friends couldn't believe it. He's like, what, 7 in a week?
I,
It was it's
I,
funny how the universe
yeah.
responds when we're really in that
Mhm.
state of being that beautiful wife. You
Yes.
get the marriage proposals.
You do. And I've had that happen to me. I've had that happen for clients. Like when you shift the internal, the external will shift to change it. And what I always share with my clients is like if they're in a relationship and they want the relationship to change, it's like you don't need to change the guy, change yourself. And he'll either step up to meet you there or he'll step out and you'll make the space for the right person to step in. But it's never changing the external, it's changing the internal. And for anybody else here that's been on the personal development journey, or even if you're not, as you grow in life, you're not dating the same type of person today that you would have dated when you were 15 or 20 or 25 or 30. And so you can see how your reality reflects changes back to you. There was a time in my coaching business where I just wanted to make $3,000 a month. I wanted to replace my yoga teaching income. And I've definitely up leveled and grown and changed tremendously since then.
Yeah.
But our relationships are going to be the same. They'll always grow and change to meet us where we are at. But if you were with someone that was, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but someone who's way out of your league, it most likely is not going to work out because just energetically or even in your belief systems, you don't believe that you're worthy of that person. So it always comes down to your belief systems, what you believe you can have and what you believe exist for you in the universe. So you might believe that you are the most amazing human being on the planet. Oh, but those types of partners don't exist. There's no way I could meet a man at my level, right? Like I hear that
Mm.
from clients all the time who are super successful and have their act together and beautiful and spiritual, but they have a block because they haven't
Yeah.
yet met their match. I'm like, but you won't meet your match until you clean up your belief systems and believe that your match is out there. It's like saying, well, I'll trust a man once I meet a man who's trustworthy. Well, if your mind says men are not to be trusted, you will not meet a man who is trustworthy. You just won't. Or if you do, you can't see it. You won't see that he's trustworthy because you have this filter, this mask, this block that men are not to be trusted.
I love the work that you're doing. It just excites me so much to hear about, like your when you share client stories or things like that. It's just, yeah, you can really see. And what you were just saying leads on to my next question, which was about overcoming blocks. So with people that are sort of struggling more with like self-doubt, or they've had, like past relationship breakdowns or heartaches and things, and we can hear a dog.
Yeah, sorry, there must be something outside. She's a barking.
That's all right. Don't worry. We can still hear you. I just want to let you know.
Okay, good.
So
if it gets obnoxious, I'll shut the door. Let me know.
But how can we overcome these blocks? Because yeah, a lot of us do have self-doubt, or we're on that kind of tightrope walk between where we want to be when we're like, still kind of like half invested or half in. What's a good way to dissolve those blocks?
Okay, so absolutely the forgiveness piece is oh so important. But one of the things to remember, and I have a signature breakup process, and it's a 7-step process, and I'll share with you some of the steps in the process. The dog is saying you're worthy. She totally is. Poppy is like, I want to be part of the conversation.
She's on like team love.
Yeah, exactly. Team love. Oh, I'm so sweaty. I think I told you it's 100 degrees here right now. Okay.
Looking gorgeous though. And you're red.
You
look beautiful.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. I received that. Okay. So there's a couple of things to really keep in mind when it comes to dealing with a broken heart. And I love that you have your tea potion for dealing with a broken heart. And it's like, so perfect. Okay. But yes, exactly. Like, get it. So in addition to drinking the tea, while you're drinking the tea, what you're going to want to do is pull out your journal. And you need to be in a good space for this. So not when you're in like a heartbroken space or an angry space, but maybe after a meditation or a yoga class or a walk in nature when you're feeling pretty good. But you really want to look at things from the perspective of, what was this showing me? Like, what did I learn here? And I think about, God, I have so many past client stories, but I think about one client in particular where we mapped out every single relationship and who she was at the beginning of the relationship and who she was at the end of the relationship. And we did this for every single significant relationship from the time she was like 21 years old. And who was I at the beginning and who was I at the end? What did I learn? How did I grow? What did this show me? And as she went through every single relationship, and now she is with her person, the love of her life, she realized that every relationship was there to teach her something. If she wanted this big, amazing partnership, which she has now, she needed all of these stepping stones along the way, right? And so when she was able to get out of the victim mentality of, he did that to me, he hurt me, it's his fault, right? Like, that is giving your power away. That is victim mentality. Instead, it was, why did I choose this? What was this showing me? What did I learn? How did I grow? What am I grateful for? Like, that is such a high vibe, empowering mindset of, you're no longer the victim. He didn't hurt you. She didn't hurt you. They didn't break your heart, but they helped you grow in certain ways. Every relationship is helping you to get closer to your person. And so these are coaching tools. These are mindset tools. This is shifting you from life is happening to me to life is happening for me. And when you're in that mindset, then it's just like, of course you're going to succeed at manifesting whatever it is that you want, not only in a loving relationship, but anything in life. You can apply this to business and finances. Okay, you invested in a coach or a mentor, and let's say it didn't work. You're going to like rule out every single coach or mentor ever again because one coach didn't work out? Or are you going to take responsibility and say, what did I learn here? What was the lesson? Did I give it my all? Was I hoping this person was going to save me? How did I show up? Was I listening to my intuition? Did I ignore the red flags, right? Like, if we're willing to adopt the coachy mindset, the beginner mindset, what is this showing me? How am I learning? Then you will be successful in achieving absolutely every single goal that you have.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I love what Lakeside Laura said. I'm sharing this with my 19-year-old daughter. Please do share this out to people that, whether they're having pattern stuff, share it with them lovingly. And you have to watch this. But, you want to just be like, this is a really interesting conversation. So I was just thinking about the importance of like catapulting us to this bit where we're transported, outside of those wounds and things. And I've definitely in the past had partners that were not so nice and there was red flags and things. Can you speak a little bit about falling in love with someone's potential? Because sometimes we, as empaths and psychics and things like that, you tapped into like another version of what they're capable of being, but maybe on a physical level, they're not coming up to it. Because I see other clients doing the same.
Well, it's kind of this fine line. It's a yes and, because who someone is today is not necessarily who they're going to be in the future. However, if a big part of the reason you are with someone is because they could change, he could treat me better, he could get his act together, he's gonna make money one day, he's gonna leave his wife one day, whatever it is, right? That is a red flag versus this person is on the path of personal development just like me, because everybody is going to grow or change. So you can't expect the person you're with to stay the same for the rest of their lives, because nothing stays the same. But falling in love with someone's potential, like, it has to be, who are they today? How are they treating me today? How do I feel with them today? And what's the growth trajectory? Where are we headed? Are we in alignment with our vision and our values? So I'm a lot more kind of like a hard ass with this, of just like, nope, if he's not meeting, like, ticking all the boxes today, if he's not going where I want to go in the future, like, for me, it has to be in everything. And so maybe I'm not the best person to answer this, because I am so strict of just like, absolutely not. Like, it has to be what's right now and what feels like it could be right for the future. It can't be, it's not okay now, but it could be okay in the future. Like, it has to be both. It has to be like, it's really good now, and I see potential in the future, and there's no way to know, right? Like, I intend to get married once. I am a love coach. I have done this work for years and lifetimes. And there's still no certainty that when I meet my person and it feels good and it feels right and it feels aligned and we get married, that we'll be together the rest of our lives. It could be that there was a massive learning for me in that relationship and in that marriage. And so this is why it's so important to not judge ourselves and to really trust that everything is working out in our favor. And it's also so important that we do the work to move beyond the lower vibrations of fear and worry and doubt and anxiety and our past trauma and our past baggage. And this is truly the work that I do as a love coach, and connect into your heart, connect into love, and make decisions from a loving place rather than a wounded, traumatic place. Because input equals output. If you're living your life based on your trauma, if you're making your choices based on your trauma, then your life will reflect that back to you. And not as a way to punish you, but just, this is who you're being. This is what you're believing. You're only giving like a little bit of love because you're holding yourself back. So you'll get a little bit of love back. That's it. But when you peel back the layers and you work through your shit and you act from a heart-centered place, your life's going to reflect that back to you in every single way. And that's really the crux of the work that I do with my clients. I want them to learn how to connect so deeply to love that, of course, it's inevitable that love's going to show up in their life in every single way, including that primary partnership that they desire.
Well, I love it that you've got that bit of a, like the hard ass kind of tough approach, because
Yeah.
so many of us don't. A lot of us will have, like, even myself, like people pleasing programs since childhood, just wanting to be loved and accepted, to be seen, to be valued, all of these old programs. And it takes a lot of work to, to quieten the voice of those programs, or to really understand to put yourself first.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with feminine too, is a lot of the time we can put ourselves secondary, or we're so used to nurturing and giving that we forget what's important to us. And that's why we see a lot of, marriages and things start to dissolve. And even, they say that women leave 2 years in their head before they do in person. So if you're going through things like that, even, talking to Emyrald, it's not too late to change and shift things, even if you are in a relationship. Emyrald still has really amazing tools and techniques that she can work with to get the best out of your relationship. And I want to bring up your website. So if you go over to emeraldsinclaire.com, you will see Emerald's beautiful face on her website. And down here, as we scroll down a little bit, you've got Becoming the Magnetic Feminine, but we have the Embodied program. And this is your 6-month program. There really is a container. If you want, like if you've ticked off the other things in life, or love's like really the highest value for you at the moment, and it's the same with the potions. I talk about with quantum physics and science, manifesting and working with something for at least 66 days. But with this embodied container you've created, it's 6 months of working with you. So if you look at maybe you've struggled with growth, or you're not in the place that you want to be in terms of love, confidence, attraction, and things, going into a program like you've got here, and you'll see it on her website. If you click in Become Embodied, it will take you more into it. But, this is one of those things of stepping up and starting to put that action into becoming that new version of yourself. And I love it that you're, a bit tougher with things too, because that's what we need. It's the container. It's the, getting firm boundaries. And boundaries is another one of those things that's like super important when it comes to love. But I love it that you're like, no, if they don't fit the criteria, we're not trying to make them like Play-Doh or plasticine and mold them into this version that they're really not.
No.
Yeah, so you just know that you're going to attract, as you were saying, like high value people.
Well, and I'll be very vulnerable. I just recently went through a breakup, and everything was compatible except for one thing. He never wanted to get married again, which it took us a while to come to that, because he'd been married before and engaged twice. So we joked that he wasn't afraid of commitment, but it wasn't until I asked him point blank, him wanting to get married again and him having the question, he was like, oh, no, I have zero intention to ever get married again. And I was like, well, then that doesn't work. I don't care how compatible we are, because my vision for partnership is connected on every single level, including marriage. Like, you're my do or die. You're my person. And so I had to do the hard thing and let go of Mr. 99%. And like, that sucks. But the thing is, I am so committed to getting what I want that I'm going to say no to anything that's not that. That's the only way I'm going to get it. If I settle, I will not be satisfied. And then the relationship will slowly get worse and worse. And guess what? 5 years down the road, I'm going to be resentful. And where's my ring? And he's like, I told you, I don't want to get married. Like, I'm not going to try to change any other human being. We're either compatible or we're not. There's 8 billion people on the planet. I don't need to hold on out of lack or fear.
And I think if anything, it's just showing you that you're so close, like in terms of, you've ticked like nearly like your whole spreadsheet.
Yes, so Rita, that was the exact conversation I had with myself. I was like, holy cow, I'm so close. It's just like, and you know what? Again, I'll be vulnerable. I never was fully clear that I wanted marriage. I was always open to it, but I was also the mindset of, well, do I really need a sheet of paper? Do I really need a legal document? What if, we just had a ceremony? So I'd actually been in that mind frame for the last 38 years. And it wasn't until this relationship that I was like, actually, no, I want marriage. And so I can look at this as, thank you. That was the final piece of the puzzle that I needed to fully get clear on calling in my person.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy. I just can't wait to see what you and I were talking backstage about astrology and about, the energy of last year compared to the energy of this year.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the next 6 months brings for you.
Oh my God.
Just feel like open adventures and just excitement around that. And I think you've totally got the right mindset, when you are dating too, because some people will still be in terms of like, say there's a dating pool and they'll think about, there's so many fish in the sea, but like they're not quality fish. And how you were saying, like one person can have one sort of mindset in the dating world, and then you can have like you in the dating world who are meeting the quality people, are attracting like high caliber. So I think for everyone, just a little reminder, it needs to come back and start with you first. Yes. But if you have been doing it alone, whether it's, 6 months or a year or literally like 20 years of trying to find that perfect person, having someone, and especially Emerald as a coach, really can help you to stay on track. I know even just your meditations and just listening to your podcast really helped me to pull in that partner that was on my list. And it's hard, to do those cuts or to be like, what, they're not ticking that marriage list. So I do have another question for you. So on like our topic of like attracting and manifesting love, in your experience, what role does like that level of manifestation play in terms of like putting that or attracting and pulling that loving relationship in? Is there any specific practices that you do in terms of when you're getting into state or into mindset? What is it that you find gets you into that juicy spot?
Yeah. Honestly, I have this vision of a wedding in Tuscany. And when I close my eyes and I see it, I can feel the love, the connection, the depth with that person. And so I really respond well to visualization. That works for me. For other people, it might be hearing a meditation or affirmations. For others, it might be writing it down. For others, it might be a vision board or watching a film like The Notebook, right? And so a reminder that our subconscious is really running the show. And the subconscious speaks in images and feelings. So how can you start to give yourself the image and the feeling? And as you're doing that, other stuff is going to rise to the surface that's not in alignment with that. So that's great. This is the stuff I need to look at that's in the way. If you're doing the vision and you're like, well, that couldn't possibly happen. Why? Why not? Oh, I'm too old. Ahaha, there's one of your blocks that you need to look at, right? Like age has nothing to do with it. Location has nothing to do with it. But it really is questioning your thoughts, questioning your beliefs, and remembering that your life is simply a reflection of what you believe you can have and what you believe is out there. That's it, period. End of story. It's all stories. None of it is absolute truth.
Yeah. Well, I love visualization as well. I find that that's my higher strength. I did have to journal out and write down that ideal soulmate to have a prompt, like to remember to tick things off. And I'm using it with manifesting around houses and things. So say if you're looking at it around a house, you want to visually take yourself through the house. What do you feel when you walk through the front door? What's the texture of like the door handle feel like, or putting that key in? What's the temperature of the floor under your feet? And it's the same with working with love too. What does this person spark within me, or what do I feel? This is a big one I noticed too with all those marriage proposals was, what is it that they're saying back to me? And one of it was, I love your style, or, compliments and things like that. And I was feeling it like light me up when I'm in that visualization manifestation process. So it's like putting myself literally in that spot, imagining what's happening. Can you speak a little bit too about the importance of like releasing? And what I mean by that is there's a point where we also need to step out and trust for the universe to bring this in, not to be like, right, here's my list, and like we're pushing it in the universe's space over and over again.
I love this question. You're such a great interviewer. I love our conversations. They're so good.
Thank you.
Here's the thing. What I always tell my clients, and I remind them, is that there is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And this gap is the majority of your life, right? Because we're conscious creators. We're always wanting and desiring more, which means we're always going to be in a place where I don't have what I want, but I also have what I once wanted. But it's not as exciting. It's like gum that you've chewed the flavor out of, right? It's like you buy a new car and you love the new car, but then months or years go by and all of a sudden that new car is not so new anymore. It's not so exciting. And then a new desire is birthed for a newer car. And so you have to remember that on your journey to, let's say, manifesting the partner of your dreams, just like anything else, there's the period between you wanting it and you having it. Who are you going to be in the process? Is it impatient, upset, worried, doubtful, insecure? My life does not begin until my partner shows up? Or is it, I can't control when my partner shows up, but what I can control is who I'm being in the meantime, my thoughts, my words, my actions, my feelings, where I go, what I do. And so when you are working at making your life the best it can be in every category that you control, so you work on controlling what you can control, you let go of controlling what you can't control, which is when you're going to meet your person, how you're going to meet your person, who your person is. You can't control that at all. You just can't. If I had a crystal ball, Oh my God, would I be charging a whole lot more money for my services? Let me tell you. Okay. And where I'm going with that is when you are making your life the best it can be in the interim, that actually speeds up the process because you're no longer noticing the lack of what you want. And so when I think about the 6-month journey and embodied, most of my clients are not dating for the first 3, 4, 5 months. They're cleaning up all the other areas of their life. Is their job in alignment? Is their physical health in alignment? Are their finances in alignment? Are their friendships in alignment? If they've always wanted to travel and they haven't been traveling, book the ticket, start traveling. Your life doesn't begin once your partner shows up. You want to do the work to be in the highest vibrational state as possible. You want to meet your partner up here, not when it's like, my life's horrible without my person. And so that's the work that I want you to do. And I realize, I know, of course, you're impatient. You're like, I want it now, whatever it is. But the truth is, you don't want it all right now. You don't want all the food you were ever going to eat, all the sex you were ever going to have, all the clothes you were ever going to wear. Like, you want this to continue to unfold throughout the rest of your life. And I know some women, especially when they're like, I want to have babies and the clock is ticking, like it adds that time pressure. But the time pressure is going to block you even further because you're in the energy of it's getting too late. Where is he? It's getting too late. Where is he? And I've had clients settle and marry the wrong guy. And then thank goodness, I think of one client in particular, they couldn't get pregnant. And after 9 months, she finally realized that she would rather be with the right guy and no babies than with the wrong guy and potentially babies. And the happy ending to this story, within a month of when she divorced him, she met the man that she's now married to with a baby and pregnant with a second one along the way. Once she let go of the timeline of like, I need to make it happen now. So it's easier said than done. I get it. I can help you move through that for sure. But you have to trust in that divine timing of this is what I want. How can I prepare for it? Right? Like I saw a comment come up about setting the table. How can you prepare for it? How can you expect and believe that it is going to happen in divine timing? And then furthermore, what if it doesn't happen? Who are you going to be for the rest of your life? Like there's not a doubt in my mind that I will be in an amazing partnership. But if it doesn't happen, I'm pretty freaking happy. Like I am not missing out on anything. Like I've created an amazing life. So again, I'm not noticing the lack of one thing that I don't yet have. I'm focusing on the abundance of the 99 other million things that are going well, the things that I can control. But when it comes to love and dating, I get to control showing up completely radiant and magnetic and confident and loving and in my heart. Like I get to do that, which is why I get so much attention from men and incredible men. And you have to remember that every single person you date is not going to be your person until the one person that is. And so you have to get good at releasing and letting go and going through a breakup and not making up a limiting or negative story, because that's just going to be the process of finding your person. You're going to go through a series of relationships that don't last for the rest of your life.
And I think that holds a lot of people back from, for wanting or feeling that they deserve better. It's that fear of not having someone. How do they rip the Band-Aid off? What is the easiest, best way? Or is it just to literally rip it off and to start fresh?
I mean, the way I look at it is I have created such an exceptional life for me. I freaking love who I am, that I am only going to allow people or a relationship in my life that adds to my life in every way. So if I've done the work, I treat myself like a queen. I take myself on the trips and vacations. I take care of my physical body. I am sincerely happy. I would rather be alone if the option is to be with someone just to be with someone. Like I love my company. I love who I am. So the option is be with me or be with a man who adds in my life in every single way.
Yeah, I guess they've got to be ticking off that list or adding value, not draining your energy.
Right.
So, this could be even for people that are in partnerships that are questioning, maybe to write up like a little list of pros and cons and to look at how you were saying, like, look at the story before you got together, and to even go back throughout those various different relationships. I do think though, like, if you want like your best and highest result, hiring a love coach, like hiring you to get the job done and to get it done properly, and to see the blind spots or the hindsights that maybe, we haven't looked at, or the things that we've missed, or the things that are so deeply embedded in our subconscious, we don't even realize it's a program that we're running.
Oh my God.
Can
I
you
have a business coach, I have a marketing coach, and I have a financial coach. I don't claim to be an expert in everything. Like, I want someone to help me see what it is that I'm missing. So, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And I wanted to ask, because of our community, like we are very spiritually soul-based, the beautiful community here. Can you maybe talk a little bit too about the importance of spiritual compatibility? Because I know we've got a couple of people that, maybe they're spiritual, but the partner's not spiritual. And so it's this, trying to kind of find that middle ground. Can you talk about maybe I've just put how to discern also, like when you're dating, that spiritual compatibility, and how to identify more of like a deep heart or a soul connection with the person.
Yeah, so there's a lot of this, or there's a lot to go into with this question, because a partner doesn't necessarily have to believe exactly as you believe. However, are they open-minded? Do they believe in you? Are they willing to have the conversation and listen, or is it cut and dry? Like, I know
Yeah.
couples that have successfully lasted decades, and she's Christian and he's agnostic. He's Republican, she's Democrat, right? Like, we don't have to be a carbon copy of our partner. However, what is most important to you? And when I think about the non-negotiables for me as a coach on the path of personal development, if my partner is not as committed to personal development as I am, it won't work, because we will be completely different people in a very short amount of time. I shed my skin so quickly. Spirituality. For me, I'm a channel. I teach manifestation and law of attraction. If I was with a guy who didn't even believe in reincarnation, was an atheist, that just wouldn't work. However, if it was a man that's like, interesting, I haven't really thought about that before, but I do believe that energy isn't created or destroyed, so maybe reincarnation is real. Like, I'm open to it. Let's talk about it. That's a completely different type of person. And so it really depends how important it is to you, how much of your beingness that it is. Some women might be completely content to read their books on manifestation, law of attraction, go to the Abraham Hicks conferences, and their partner's like, you go ahead, sweetie, not for me. Great.
Yeah.
It's like her going to play tennis and he's like, you go ahead, sweetie, not for me. I'm gonna play golf. So it's individual for every single person. There is no one size fits all, but it's really understanding yourself and what it is that you need in a partnership. Like, what are your non-negotiables versus your desires and wants versus your icing on the cake.
And just the importance of having a partner that's open and supportive, that's just a good quality to have overall too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I look at it. My partner doesn't need to believe everything I believe, but they do need to believe in me.
And, I don't think we necessarily want a carbon copy of ourselves, because, it'd be quite boring. It'd be like talking to yourself. I want someone or I have someone that brings in different things, so things that I'm not interested in, or not that I'm not interested, but like, he might go and find out more information around finances or around practical. Here's the triple Taurus, my partner. It's a very practical, very earthly.
Perfect. But that's a good balance. Exactly.
It is.
We want our
Yes.
partner to complement us. And if we bring it back
Exactly.
to the masculine feminine conversation, same thing. Like, we don't need two masculines or two feminines. Like, that's actually a really challenging partnership and dynamic. Yeah. And Lori says shared
Definitely.
values. Also important. It's like,
Yeah.
we want to have
And
shared
I
values,
think
shared
that's the
vision.
core. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a core. We're coming close to the end of the hour, so I have one more question for you.
Okay.
This was about the importance of self-love, and I've just written here as well. So what is it we can do as part of like a self-love ritual that will not only help to stabilize our nervous system, but really make sure that we're loving ourselves first, so that we're setting ourselves up for being able to receive and take that love in and recognize it? Because sometimes we don't recognize it.
Yeah. I mean, again, you asked some really big questions that I feel like I could answer for hours and hours. Or I also want to be like, well, do the course, do the self-love course. It's going to give you
Exactly.
all of these tools and practices. But
Yeah.
I mean, really, the connecting to your heart every day or your inner child, and really just saying nice things to yourself. Like, I see you, I love you, I accept you, I honor you. What do you need? What can I do for you? Stop looking outside of you for your partner to fulfill you or give you the validation, whatever it is. When you find it inside, 100% it's going to be reflected back to you, but not because you need the person to give it to you. It's just going to be this natural reflection. And so mirror work is really powerful. Just, I love you, I see you, I accept you, you're doing such a great job. Like talking to yourself like you would a child, right? Like just giving yourself what you're looking for other people to give you. If I'm looking for my partner to tell me I'm beautiful, I'm telling myself I'm beautiful. If I'm looking for my friend to give me permission, I'm giving myself permission. So it's slowing down and taking note of all the areas that you're looking outside. And instead, you're turning the search inward, you're finding it and giving it to yourself. And a lot of it, honestly, is just how you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, that's such a high value answer. And I can really see how like you're attracting high value people because you're so high value yourself. And I just love and adore you and can't thank you enough for coming and speaking
Thank
on this
you.
topic. And I think it's one of those things that holds a bit more weight, you know, when we're talking about love and relationships, as far as like what we want to have in our lives. I sometimes, even when I'm getting ready for, you know, putting makeup things on, I've got my affirmations nearby,
Mm,
trying to remember to say them, like why I'm, you know, doing makeup in the mirror. So
yeah.
that might be a good practice. Just stick your affirmations like on the mirror. But yeah, you've given us such important, valuable information. This might be one people want to go back and listen or come back to if they're wanting to like really pick apart and pros and cons and look at like everything happening in your life.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to pop up your website. So if everyone wants to jump on over and check out Emerald's information, let me just pop this little banner down. So we've got here, if we scroll down on emeraldsinclaire.com, you want to head to where it says embodied. Click on that. It'll take you through to that 6-month program if you're really serious about love. But you also have the podcast and you have your beautiful meditations on Insight Timer. And I'm just going to bring up this other one. So we've got soul alchemy potions too. So just a reminder, if you haven't yet jumped on and gone and got your love tea or heal a broken heart tea, if you are focused on love, you want to be doing it for about 66 days because that's what quantum physics shows that we have that change. And yeah, please also give my new channel a like, share, and subscribe. I also have in the description box of this Emyrald socials as well. So please go over and follow Emyrald and check out the amazing info. Even just like catching your lives, like if I see your live pop up, like I'm invested, I'm stopping whatever I'm doing to really, even though I'm in a relationship, I'm always working on myself. And there's always valuable advice, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single. So thank you for everything that you're doing and keep being amazing and shining your gorgeous light in this world.
Thank you. Thank you, darling, for having me. As always, it's such a pleasure. It's so lovely.
Oh, you're so welcome. And, you know, I can see the audience just loves and adores you and are expressing their beautiful thanks as well. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. And we will see you next time. Thanks, Emerald.
Bye, honey. Thank you.
Bye.